Yeah. Is inaugural the right word?
Maybe inaugural isn't the right word.
First ever.
The first ever. Yeah. We are keeping it simple. We're pretty excited about this. I know I am. Travis, I know you are.
Absolutely. I just feel like there's so much information for us to get out there for people, and they need the help. So I can't wait to start talking about it with them.
All right. So today's subject, and this is a good one. This is something that, especially with everything going on in the news, and all the big stories that we see kind of popping out in the news about cyber attacks, about internet security. This episode is centered around the question, are hackers after my small business? So we're going to answer that question. Are hackers after my small business? So Travis, to start out, do hackers, and there's probably a lot of terms in here that you may want to soften or change up because we may be using the wrong terms here even, but do hackers target small businesses?
Yeah, good question. And I think it's a really good question because I believe there are a lot of people who do feel their business is so small that maybe it's not the target of attacks. But the quick and easy answer is absolutely they do. And the reason is that there's money there. So if they have something to gain from you, it doesn't matter to them if you're a large company or a small company. Obviously, a large company, maybe you can get more money from them, but they also have better security. So, and they know that going in. And so if they can get you and get you to pay them for a ransom, then yeah, absolutely. They're going to come after you.
So is this something that small businesses should worry about? Should they worry about being hacked? Is that even the right way to word it?
Yeah. So I would say they should be concerned about it. Absolutely. Just like they should be concerned about any security in their organization. They should be concerned about, liability of just about, any normal thing in their business. They want to have insurance for that. They want to have good, physical security for their business. You need to worry about digital security as well. And I think the thing that people don't realize about this is that it's not targeted. So much of this behavior from if you want to call them hackers, the criminals really is what they are, because hacking can mean a lot of different things. And hacking can be done for good, but these people are criminals. So are these criminals interested in coming after your business specifically, or are they just looking for convenient opportunities, and finding people who unfortunately are just in a bad position to begin with that they're able to easily take advantage of? And that's really what the majority of these attacks are. It's not to say that there aren't targeted attacks, but you might be thinking like, I'm a small business. Maybe you do something in construction, or you've got just 4 or 5 people in your office. Really, who's after me? And the answer is nobody who knows you, who even thinks about you, necessarily has to be after you. They have software, they have computers that do a lot of this legwork for them just to find opportunities. And then when they find that vulnerability, that opportunity, then they jump in and go ahead and take advantage of it.
Gotcha. So it's not like, this hacker, some guy in a cloaked hoodie in a dark room is sitting here, going after Joe Bob's, nuts and bolts shack and is trying to infiltrate that organization.
Right. You got to remember, with techno music blaring in the background. He's, right. Your carpet cleaning service or something, right? No, not necessarily. Now I want to say this, they can, there is targeted social engineering that does happen. But generally speaking, what they're going to do is they're going to have these, they have software that's actually looking for, remote desktop protocol being open to the internet, for instance. Like, you didn't set up your firewall correctly. They're looking for that. Or they're just spamming. They're just sending out emails. This is a huge one. They're just sending out phishing emails and hoping you click on it. And if you click on the phishing email and you get phished, cool. Then now they get a persistent foothold in your network, and they can start remotely accessing that network and taking advantage of their position. But there's a whole host of ways that they do this too. It's also sometimes it's just tricking you into sending money to them, thinking that you're paying an invoice, or thinking that they're a customer, or making you think that they're the CEO. It's a real popular one, is that they'll try accounting individuals. Like they'll try the email address, like accounting@yourbusiness.com, or billing@yourbusiness.com, or they'll go through LinkedIn. Sometimes this is more of an active attack, but they'll go through LinkedIn and see who works there, and sometimes find the people in your organization that work there, and then just send them emails and go, hey, hey Bob, hey Barbara, whoever, this is according to LinkedIn, Travis is the CEO. Okay, this is Travis, the CEO, and I want you to go ahead and wire this $10,000 over here. Can you set that up for me? And again, it doesn't matter that you're a small business. What matters is if they can get the money out of you, and they're banking on the fact that you probably have cyber insurance, right? And they'll probably cover at least $10,000 worth of ransom. So if they can work for 2 or 3 hours or whatever and make $10,000, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And that what you were just talking about, that's a great subject for another podcast. But because I know we've seen a lot of big name CEOs and people who obviously have good teams and they know what they're doing, and they've had this social engineering type of hack happen to them. So that's a great subject for some other podcasts in the future. But here's another question for you. We know now that this is something that can be targeted even towards small businesses. How can small businesses protect themselves? What should they be doing?
So there's not one magic, bullet here. There's not, or silver bullet, there's not one thing you can do that solves this problem for you. The truth is that security is something that you have to do culturally. There's a part of it that's your people. Then there's a part of it that's the technology. So it's a bunch of different things coming together to create a secure environment. But I would say, like, the first place you should start is who's helping you, who's guiding you down this path of information technology in the first place. Like, and obviously I'm biased. I operate a managed service provider. We help businesses do this, but do you have a trusted partner who's actually helping you with this? You might have an IT guy. Maybe that guy, or gal is the right person, but maybe not. It's not just because you have somebody who helps you with your technology that doesn't mean you're safe. You need somebody who's actually going to work as an advisor in your behalf to tell you those steps. But couple of basic steps, because I don't want to just make this, I want to give people something actually material here they can start to look into. Yeah, you need to have the basics, right? You need to harden your edges. You need to make sure you've got a good firewall set up. You need to make sure and it's actually set up and configured correctly. You probably shouldn't just be using the thing that came from Comcast. Go ahead and get an actual commercial grade firewall for your business. You need to have antivirus software, and not the free, trial subscription that, that keeps popping up every 5 days telling you that you should go ahead and pay for it. You need to actually get a professional antivirus, or what we call endpoint detection and remediation suite or software. Those things are useful. But the other thing is you need to make sure your design was set up correctly in the first place. So all of this starts with identity management. Identity management, like Active Directory from Microsoft, that's where you say, hey, here's the people who work in my company. Here's the computers that are part of my business, part of my company. These things belong here. If it's not on that list, it doesn't belong here. So you need to get that in place. And then you need to take those computers that you have. You need professional operating systems on them, not Windows Home, but Windows Pro, and you need to domain join them. And this stuff is getting a little bit in the weeds here and a little bit technical, but the gist is you need somebody who knows how to set that up and how to do that. And once you've got that in place, you can start to publish policies in your company. You can say, here's the people who work here, here's the machines that belong here, and here are the rules that apply to these machines. All of them have to have a password. You can say that. It's a rule. You can't have company computer without a password. That password has to be, 12, 13 characters long. That password has to be changed, or, so on and so forth. And it's not just about passwords. It's also about, who gets access to what files, what printers. You can implement other more advanced features like role-based access control and things like that later. But there's a lot, and it just starts with identity management, right? Get that in place. Your trusted advisor should help you do that, and then start to harden your edges. Make sure you've got the right security in place, and then also, do you have good backups for when it all goes wrong? And when it fails because somebody makes a mistake. But in addition to that, there's security awareness training, and then there's other security products like SIMs, and there's a lot, right?
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, that, like you said, we opened up a whole can of worms here, and we know that there's obviously some complexity to it, especially depending on what how well you want to protect your business. But some of those points that you made are clear. Get a trusted advisor first, then obviously they can direct you in the right direction.
Exactly.
And then that point that you made as well about identity management, that's something that we'll have to revisit as well on another future topic. So a lot of, as we mentioned at the onset, there's a lot of great topics that need to be discussed, and we're looking forward to discussing on this podcast. But the name of the podcast, let's keep it simple. So let's do a recap. 30 seconds or less. Let's keep it simple. Are hackers after my small business? What can small businesses do to prevent this?
Yeah, these are criminals, right, that we're talking about. So yeah, they're after your business. They want your money just as much as anybody else's money. So if they can take it from you, they will. What should you do? Start by finding a good partner, a trusted advisor in information technology, somebody with a great reputation. Do not go find the cheapest person or somebody off Craigslist. Go get somebody who you can trust, because they actually have people who vouch for them. And also, just be prepared. Be prepared to change things in your organization, to change the way you work, to change the way you do things, and to become a security-focused and concerned business.